Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FPL Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 8 review and my Game Week 9 team selection for you guys. We've had a weekend off due to the international break. It's been nice to take a little breather from FPL, but now we're straight back into the action. So let's get straight into it. So here is my blank Game Week 8 team. 58 points overall, but I took an 8-point hit. So 50 points overall. Got exactly what the average was. To be honest, I'm not too disappointed with how this week turned out, considering I was taking a -8 and I didn't have my wild card. I knew that would come back to bite me later. So a small red arrow is okay, I think, for this week. Down about 200,000 places there, just below 2 million overall. Again, not ideal, but I think the hits were worth it in the end to bring in a full starting 11. I only had 7 playing players at the start of last game week. But yeah, I made 4 transfers in total. A lot of them I went over in the previous team selection video, but instead I went for MADDISON instead of Bowen, which turned out to be a really good decision on my behalf, getting in those 7 points. And I think that MADDISON looks like the better player coming up in the next coming game weeks. Going player by player, Raya in goal again, 2 points. I mean, Brentford don't really look like they're keeping clean sheets, but he does have Bournemouth next week, so I am hopeful of that. I would have liked to have had Pope in goal, but again, even he didn't keep a clean sheet, so he's just good value, I think, Raya, who will stay in my team for the foreseeable future, I think. Cancelo, once again, doing what he does best, getting 3 bonus points, despite not even getting a goal contribution. The man is amazing, he gets clean sheets, and all 3 bonus, despite not getting a goal contribution. Absolutely insane from him, getting 9 points. Trippier, a new addition to the team, getting 5 points. Pretty good from him, getting an assist. Shame that the clean sheet went. He could have been on for an absolute haul. But all right from him. Nico Williams, who I had to play, didn't really want to play him anyway against that Fulham fixture. 1 point. I was just forced into playing him. I wasn't really expecting much from him anyway. De Bruyne, a new addition to the team, getting 10 points. I was really impressed with his performance. Really, really impressed. Happy to own him for the next few weeks. I know it's dangerous going without Salah, but I think De Bruyne can match or outscore him in the next few weeks. I'll definitely be looking to get Salah back in. I'll discuss how I'm going to be funding that in the next part of the video. But yeah, De Bruyne getting 10 points. I was happy with his performance. He was definitely my star player in the team, getting the highest score in my team with 10 points. MADDISON, who I've been over, really happy with his performance, getting a goal. Didn't get any bonus, but he looked really good in that Spurs game. He looked like Leicester's only decent player, to be honest. And I think he's going to continue. He's going to continue to start. And if Leicester are getting goals, I think he'll be a part of them. He does look very good, and he's got a rest over the international break, which is fantastic. Martinelli getting 3 points. He's honestly, I've considered moving on Martinelli. He's just so highly owned, and I feel like I could bring in a differential, but I've had a look at the options at his price, and there just really isn't anyone. I kind of forget of how cheap Martinelli is. His value is just so insane at his price. So even though I'm not too happy with the amount of points he's been getting recently, there's no one really better at his price. So in my team, he stays for now. I think he'll still be in my team come the Game Week 9 deadline. Andreas, again, another player I was forced to play. I mean, he was against Nottingham Forest, so he had quite a good fixture. I wasn't too keen on playing him. Now that Willian has joined the club, he's taken him off a lot of set pieces, so the value of Andreas just isn't as much there now. He's certainly a good bench player to have, but yeah, I don't want to be playing him every single week. But, you know, he's the cheapest one in the team apart from Nico Williams, so it's not too bad there. Captain Haaland only getting 6 points, double to 12. Quite a disappointing performance from Haaland, honestly. He scored early on and we thought he was on for a haul, but not to be. Wolves went pretty defensive when they went down to 10 men. So yeah, not too thrilled about the 6 point. I was tempted to captain De Bruyne come the deadline, but I think going against Haaland is really dangerous. You've really got to hope he keeps quiet in the game to avoid a giant red arrow. So it was all right from him. He still returned. It's crazy how good the guy is. Even getting a return, I'm slightly disappointed with him. And similar for Jesus, getting a goal. He hasn't got many of them so far. Well, no, he's done quite well. but the points aren't really reflective of how well he's playing. So I'm hoping that he'll continue to pick up form, although if I do make a transfer this week, it will probably be him leaving my team just because of how bad the Arsenal fixtures are going to be. And as you can see in my team right now, I have 5 players in that Man City Arsenal game in game week 12. So I'll only have 9 available players that week. So I'm going to have to slowly transfer out some of those players. I think that'll be Jesus going to another forward who plays that week, and De Bruyne going to Salah, and then I'll just bench the other 3. And Mitrovic, who I brought in, who I was very hopeful to have, finally got him in my team, was feeling great about it, and he somehow blanked. Fulham scoring 3 times, and Mitrovic and Andreas, who have the highest goal involvement in the Fulham team, not being part of any of them. I mean, what are the chances? But very happy with having Mitrovic in the team. He looks still to be on absolutely top form. We'll have to wait until nearer the deadline to see if he is fit or not. I do believe he went off one of the Serbia games with a slight precaution. We'll have to see if he's fine, but I think he's the kind of player who can play through minor injuries really easily. He is a force to be reckoned with. And then the bench there, all 3 players not having games. Again, the 4 transfers I made were all for players who didn't have a fixture this week, or like Stansfield, he doesn't play at Fulham anymore, so he wasn't going to play. So I believe from those transfers I made a positive of 24 points, and given the -8, it was 16 points gained in total. I would have been in the 30s if I hadn't made any transfers. So I'm pretty happy with the transfers that I made, and a lot of them were to fund other moves, such as moving Salah down to De Bruyne all the way up to get Mitrovic. Again, in hindsight, I would have been better off not getting Mitrovic, but looking at the fixtures last week, Mitrovic I think was a must-buy given that game against Nottingham Forest, and it just wasn't meant to be. So overall, I'm all right with the small red arrow. I was really anticipating it, and it wasn't as bad as it was. Certainly not exactly what I wanted, but I'm hopeful for the next coming weeks. So let's have a look at my current Game Week 9 squad. So here is how my team is currently looking for Game Week 9. I'm honestly liking the look of it. I think it's predicted to score quite a lot of points this week. I've put it into the Fantasy Football Hub algorithm, and the predicted points are pretty high for this week. I think the score was like 90% team rating. Raya in goal with that Bournemouth fixture looking really nice there. I know Brentford aren't really keeping clean sheets, but I do think I'm optimistic about this fixture. I think Bournemouth might have quite a few shots as well. They usually play better at home. Everyone's bringing in Solanke this week, so I'm hoping that Raya can keep him out for this week. Alexander-Arnold, I'm happy to have him in the team, even though he's been a bit shaky in form. He's now quite a differential now that people have shipped him out on their wild card. So I'm really hoping for a haul. I'm hoping for like a 1-0 in that Liverpool game. Trent gets an assist, free bonus, and there you go. He's a bit of a differential this week, so I'm excited to have him in the team for probably his one good fixture for the next 3 weeks or so. Cancelo against Man United, not really hopeful for many points there. It's a bit of a tough fixture, I think, against Man United. I think they can definitely score. Man City normally do well against Man United in recent years, but again, United look the strongest they've been in a long, long time, and I think they'll definitely give City a game. However, I think City are going to know that and be going all guns blazing. So I expect City to win, but not comfortably at all. I think United will make it very difficult for them. Trippier in the team as well. I think Fulham will score in that game. Fulham seem to be very good at home right now. At Craven Cottage, I think they can score against anyone. So I'm not confident of a clean sheet there for Trippier. But again, he's got free kicks and assists in his locker, so there's always chance for a return, even if he doesn't get a clean sheet. De Bruyne against Man United, like I said, I think Man United will be a bit of a tough fixture there, but I'm hopeful for De Bruyne to get some points in that slightly tougher fixture. Maddison is an interesting one. He's very close to getting my captaincy, although I'm leaning more towards Haaland at the moment, the safer option. But honestly, if ownership wasn't on my mind, I think I would go for Maddison this week just because the fixture is so good. But because of Haaland's fixture, not captaining him and him doing well is terrible for the rank. So I think I will still be captaining Haaland come the game week deadline. But Maddison is definitely my second pick at the moment. I would love to have Salah. I'd probably captain Salah if I had him in my team this week, but Liverpool's fixtures just aren't great. I'm obviously hopeful they do well, but yeah, I think it'll be quite tough for them. Martinelli against Spurs, not hopeful for points there. He definitely can get returns. He's not been getting many returns recently, but again, for his price, he's just such great value. So I'm all right with having him in the team, but again, not too hopeful. Spurs are leaking some goals, but I think that'll be quite a tight game. I'm hoping it's a goal fest, to be honest, but yeah, I think it'll be quite a tight game. Harrison, I completely forgot he was in my team. Again, it's a nice fixture against Aston Villa. I'm hoping he finally gets some points for me. Again, every time he's been in my team, he hasn't returned, and vice versa. When he's not in my team, he hauls. So I'm hoping he finally blesses me with some points this week. I don't think many people will have players in that Aston Villa Leeds fixture. So again, it's something to look forward to that's a bit different from everyone else. Haaland, nothing to say there. Definitely confident with him. I know Man United will probably give Man City a bit of a tough time, but still confident for points from him. He will probably still score a goal. Jesus, with that fixture against Tottenham, he's probably the most likely to leave my team this week. I'm interested to know if you guys think I should keep Jesus. Even though he's 70% owned, I've seen a lot of people getting rid of him. So it would be nice to own him whilst he's still a little bit of a differential. But Arsenal's fixtures are really getting worse, and I just think there's quite a few forwards that will outscore Jesus over the next 3 or 4 weeks up until that game week 12 blank. So I think I'd rather jump the gun and get someone else in. And Mitrovic with that game against Newcastle, I know he blanked last week, but he's been on fire over the international break. He did get taken off with a precautionary injury, but I think he'll be fine for the weekend. We'll obviously wait nearer the time to make any moves. But yeah, fingers crossed for Mitrovic being fit for that. Dalot as well on the bench. I brought him in and I was so excited to play him, but yeah, he's not getting any game time, especially in that Man City away game. He is first on my bench though. Just because I think there's some off chance that someone doesn't play, like one of Haaland or De Bruyne or Cancelo get injured in the warm-up and United somehow keep a clean sheet, or Dalot gets a goal. I know it's ridiculous, but I don't think many people are going to have Man United defenders for this week. Andreas and Nico Williams as well, my cheap options on the bench there. And Danny Ward, not considered playing him. I've not played him all year. He hasn't kept a clean sheet all year. I think Raya has outscored him all but 1 week, I believe. So yeah, absolutely no way I'm playing Danny Ward in that game. But yeah, liking the look of the team, but let's have a look at what potential transfers I might be making. So for a potential team, it would just be the one change. Jesus out for Ivan Toney, who has looked very good in recent weeks. I know he blanked last game week, but that game against Leeds, he looked on fire. And he's got a game against Bournemouth. I do like the look of Brentford's upcoming fixtures. So I might go for him. I'm probably leaning more likely to get him in this week. It's annoying because if I'm going to get him, it's got to be this week. And I think he can outscore Jesus. It's not for a hit, so I don't have to worry about him hauling and Jesus not. But it is a 1-for-1 contrast here, and it's a close one. On paper, Toney definitely looks like the better player with the game against Bournemouth. But I just feel like Jesus could really punish me getting rid of him. There's no glaring reason to get rid of Jesus. And I feel like a lot of people have already got rid of him and gone for Toney anyway. And I do feel like doing something a little different. But I think the team's got quite a few differentials as it is, with the likes of Harrison. Raya's a bit of a differential, and Maddison. De Bruyne is a little bit of a differential. And if I captain one of those, it will be a mega differential. But yeah, I'm not too sure about the move. I think I will probably make it, but again, I'll post my final team on my Twitter page at FPL Meerkat come the deadline. And also, this move, I will say, does free up 0.9 million in the bank to make the switch from De Bruyne to Salah when the time comes. I will probably be doing that in game week 11. I definitely won't be doing it for the game against the home game that Man City have against Southampton. I think that could be an absolute riot, and I will really enjoy having probably the 3 best Man City players for that game. But yeah, then Liverpool play Man City, and I might make the switch to Salah. But yeah, it'll free up some money in the bank to make that switch, and I think leave the team up looking better as it is. In terms of other transfers, that's kind of the main one on my mind. I have looked at trying to swap Martinelli out for a different, cheaper midfielder. But again, there's just no one as good as Martinelli at that price point. There's not really any defenders I want either. There's not many clean sheets being kept. Obviously, the likes of Reece James are always a threat, but I'd kind of like to see what Graham Potter does with the side initially. And also Zaha is a player that's definitely been on my mind. And going from Jesus to Tony, I believe gives me the money to go from Martinelli to Zaha. Doesn't give me enough money to go from Harrison to Zaha, but it gives me the opportunity to switch there, and I think Zaha could definitely be a great pick. Not this week, that home game against Chelsea, he definitely could return, but I certainly like the look of Zaha from game week 10 onwards. And it will also give a nice bit of colour into my team as well. But yeah, that's the potential team that could be. Let's have a look at who did the best this week in the mini league. So here is the highest scoring team in the mini league this week, G-Dogs, Graham Buchanan's team, the first team that has actually appeared twice. So he's got the highest score in 2 weeks in the mini league. So really well played from you, Graham. 82 points, 3 hit team. Really high score for you there. I know a lot of people were saying don't use the free hit yet, it's a bit of a waste, but with 82 points you can't call that a waste at all. And look at some of the players he got in, having Son on the free hit as well. Who could have seen that score coming? We got hints that Son was going to be benched. Obviously we knew Leicester was a great fixture, but a lot of people were brave enough to go for Son anyway, and a hat-trick in half an hour. I mean, how often does that happen in FPL? So huge respect to anyone who actually went for Son, especially those who knew that he might be benched and went for him anyway. Huge bravery from you there. You could say you got a bit lucky, but I mean, you got the point, so who cares what people are saying. Having Son and De Bruyne as well, and Haaland as well, a freemium free hit. Because you could have the likes of Andreas with a good fixture there. I know he didn't get many points, but having those 3 premiums really getting a lot of points. And I know many people wouldn't have gone for the likes of Son and De Bruyne if they had Haaland as well. But he captained Isaac. And you could say that Isaac owners got quite lucky with him getting a penalty and then 3 bonus points. But a really solid captaincy return there. Maybe wasn't reflective of the way he performed, but still a great return with 18 points from the captain. Again, no transfers made because this was a free hit team. But yeah, very solid performance. Even having Dyer in there getting a goal. So a really good performance overall. Even the bench performing relatively well with Patterson on there. And because it's a free hit, those injuries go away the next week. So yeah, really well played for you there, Graham. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more weekly content if you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys are thinking for this game week. Have you already wildcarded? Are you playing your wildcard this week? Are you a bit nervous about some of the highly owned players that you've transferred out? And have you got a little differential sprinkled in there just to make your team a little bit different from all the other wildcarding teams? And are you fortunate enough to wildcard in Game Week 9 and maybe jump off some players who you were thinking about getting in Game Week 8 but didn't perform so well? Or are you like me and used your wildcard way too early and wish you kept it and took a load of hits? But yeah, let me know what your risky picks are in the comments, guys, and I'll see you in the next FPL video.